We are live on Facebook. How does it get any better than this? Well, hello. How does it get any better than this? So, we're a bit different in that we actually enjoy being alive and we actually are happy to be alive. Sylvia, hello, my
Hi.
dear friend. How are you?
Oh man, I'm doing really
Hi.
well. It was fun talking with you even before. I was just talking with you lights me up. So thank you.
Business done different. So, actually, can we actually start from that place? Let's have a conversation. So, Sylvia did a business done different. It's a joy business class about a month or two ago.
Yeah, it was April
Oh wow,
of this year.
yeah.
I can't believe it was April. I thought it was just last month, but it was a couple months, I guess. Time
Yeah.
is so weird.
Oh yeah, at the moment time is so weird. So Sylvia came on and she was one of the people that just loved the class. Like you just, it was like her eyes lit up. There was a light went on, and it was boom, 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 boom. So we're talking about joy business and we're talking about business done different. And so let's start with what you just said before we did the live tonight. We just had a chat. I asked Sylvia how she is. We were talking to each other about, are we happy? How's our lives? And she said she was really well. Now, one of the things that we'll talk about is your life is your business and your business is your life. Sylvia, tell people about this.
Well, can I tell you also my perception of this class before? Or
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
because we were
Oh, yeah,
talking.
because
Okay,
for whatever, yeah.
okay. Oh yeah, the business is your life. I'm just gonna maybe talk all over the place. So I never realized that this class was for, at least for me, was about creating your life. Like it wasn't just about business. I mean, like you hear all the time, we were talking about this. You hear all the time, your life is your business is your life. And I'm like, that's a nice little phrase that people say, and I'd say it and then do clearings. But really, so for me, this class, okay, I chose this class purely because it was light. I was just like, business, I don't get, I'm very good at it, blah. I had all different points of view. But what for me it was just like, I've taken a lot of classes, all the tools of access. It was like coming together and showing me how to create my life. Like, and your experiences, like I also, this is another thing I was thinking of this morning, and then I'll be quiet because I want to hear you talk. But is that I actually had this point of view that even you, like Rachel, you were born and you came out of the womb and you were just like, let's do business. Like I just thought everybody that's good at business, like Simone, Melissa's, I thought they just came out and they were just like, I'm ready to go. Let's do business. And I was like, I had the image of me coming out and being like, what the heck? How do you even do this? So I had this point of view that I couldn't even relate to you. And then when the class happened, I was like, oh
Wow.
my gosh, she created this. She's a lot more, I mean, we're all different, but she's a lot more like me. And I was like, oh, I can relate. And she created her life. And so, yeah, I am so grateful that I chose it purely because of lightness. And then even after class, I would call up Maya, who was in the class, and I'd be like,
Oh,
oh
I
my
love
gosh, can you
Maya.
believe this? And we were both going back and forth, like, oh my gosh, this class is so beyond anything. So that's a little bit.
I'm I'm so grateful that you talk about this because sometimes people think I won't do an access joy business class, a business done different because I haven't got joy with business. Now, I just, for those people that do know me a while and I've been at JCF a while, they might only know me a few years. I did not come into business with joy. I did not come in with joy of business. Now, what I did have a joy with was people, and if I could contribute anything energetically to someone's life being greater, and that
Yes.
really had, yeah, that I did have. That was very natural for me. It was very natural for me to it was like just part of who I am, that if I could talk to you or say hello to you or make you a cup of tea and your life got greater, that was very natural for me. Now, I had created a separation between those. I didn't bring that to business. I had recognized that they're all actually, because where's relationship in business, you know?
Yeah.
And so for me, the true change that joy business, the business done different classes are about is what we can actually, the changes and the greatness that we can ask for. And for me, one of the big things is always choosing greater. It has to
Yeah.
be with others. You know, I won't stay in a relationship. I won't stay, whether it's a business, whether it's a lover, whether it's what else, even my kid. You know, if it's a relationship that makes me less and diminishes, I will not stay in it. I will, no matter what, I will go and choose greater, even if it means being on my own. So,
Yeah.
so this,
I
thank you.
no, I'm really excited. I was going to just say about the contribution piece. So this was a class that Rachel and Lauren co-facilitated, and I don't know, it was just yeah, I can go on and on, but that you had started the class with that piece of contribution. And because I just really was convinced, like, the business side I didn't have, but when you said that, you know, how many of you are like to contribute to others, I was like, oh, me, like, wow. And how easy it was just to be like, oh, I'd like to give this to you, or I, you know, see somebody and I smile at them. This is pre-mask where you could see the smile. But you know, or like, I'd always do that, and I never considered, like, oh, this contribution that we are could be actually incorporated, because it is in our life, but also into a business. And it didn't, like you just said, have to be separate. And when you started the class like that, I was like, I'm in. I knew it was light to do this. So I was so grateful that you talked about that, because I really didn't think I was good at business.
And so if you're watching this live, what I would invite you to look at is, what are your viewpoints in regard to business? What have you decided business is? What are your
Oh,
definitions of business? And you know, what are your definitions of you in regard to business, and business in regard to you? Because all of those definitions are just beliefs. And what's a belief? Something we take on from something else or someone else. They're just beliefs.
yeah.
You've probably decided that they're not true. And when I watched you on this 6-day journey that we did, everything that you decided was true was literally melting away out of your world.
Yeah. And it was really, what I was surprised is that, oh, I thought, like, I definitely was picking up other people's points of view that, like, business, it's gonna be dry and boring. But what I was so surprised is it gave me more of me, and I came out of hiding. And I was like, oh, like, so much more. I mean, I'm out of hiding, but it was like those points of view that were kind of holding me back were starting to fall away. Like, so last year I made this decision, even though other people said, don't do this. I was like, I'm doing what I want. So I made
You're
this
like, anyone's
decision.
ever going to tell you what to do?
Yeah. So I made this decision to let go of all other income streams and just start my business. And like, I just had this point of view of like, I'm following, it was a little bit in my head. I was like, this is kind of light. I'm going to create my business, and it's going to be a facilitator business, and it's just going to be great. Like, I was definitely in hopes and dreams. And so I created a little bit, but I let go of all other income streams. I was just like, only this. And it fell quite flat. And at that point, and then I got to the place where I had like no money. It was just this really weird thing I created, like, you know, for fun. Um, and after that, I didn't realize how much I made a decision that I was bad at business, and that
Wow.
I shouldn't be a facilitator again. And really, like, what this class gave me was also that, like, and so I completely shut down that whole area of my life and that whole area possibilities of creation, because I made the decision I was bad at business and bad at facilitation. And this class opened it up again, where I was like, oh, I could create there and do this and create my life. Like, it doesn't have to be either or. So I just,
Oh, I'm so,
yeah,
you know
I'm getting
what,
chills.
I'm getting chills as well. What I love about our conversations is, what you're really talking about. This manual really cuts to the chase, because it's brutal honesty. It's brutal honesty with your viewpoints. It's brutal honesty with everything that you attract into your life. Wealth, money, people are based on what you're being. So you
Yeah.
really have to be willing to be greater. And the other thing you talked about is, in that question, you know, we invite you to take a look at what is it that you are committed to, like, first, not that I have to commit
Yeah.
to my clients, or that I have to commit to Sylvia, or I have to commit to, I don't know, something outside of you. that's not what we're talking about here. Your life is your business and your business is your life. Is about waking up in the morning, and there's this gift of life that I've been given that most people don't even recognize from consciousness, that I've chosen to be on this planet here at this time. Now, what if I was going to commit to me with no fixed point of view and decision, which you showed really well. You showed what a decision created, what future that created.
Yeah. It created this, like,
but you look, let's call a spade a spade. Everyone who's ever, walked through life has created tons of shite. No right, no wrong.
Yeah.
We get up in the morning and we start again. That's what life and living is all about, And so for me, it's like, I moved to London. Wasn't fun. I'll move again. I didn't have that energy of waking up with joy, with playfulness, with nature. So the very different aspect of this 3-day business class is your life is your business, as in, what is it that you're committed to? And is it you, or is it everyone else around you? And there's this it's not a how, it's not an explainable, I want to say, unfolding of futures, but there is this level of peace and ease and flows and money and wealth that becomes available when you commit to what it is that you would like to have as your life and living. What is the vision of your life, and what is it that you can do that actually allows you to grow, be more of you? And for me, that is the essence of joy business. It's Sylvia saying, I love making coffee. I like making a heart and a coffee. That's the vision of my life and living. That's what I love to do. It's not from any conclusion. It is that from that space where you are actually willing to experience it all and then pick out the parts that work for you and develop them more. And essentially, it is about committing to you first and foremost.
Yeah. And it's fun. Like, we laughed so hard, like that whole group of people. I didn't know. I thought it was going to be like, I mean, I know access classes are fun, but I really thought it was going to be more serious. Like, you're in a classroom and they're like, oh, should I wear a business suit? But there was so much laughter and joy and pragmatic tools. Like, that was a piece, because like you get this amazing manual, and the piece that really made it rich for me is your experiences. Like, when you hear people's experiences of how they create something, then you're like, oh, I see how you can actually create it, and I can create it for myself. And then just like how you're like, oh, and then I start my day and I have to put post-its up because I sometimes forget. And your ability, like you also being like vulnerable and saying like, I have a hard time remembering this too. I just, there's so much to it. And then just even incorporating your day. Like, I remember you were talking about, you had started doing beekeeping or something, and even just your willingness to look at like how the bees interacted and how they created like their life, and in how it transformed ours. I was just like, this is amazing. Like, I actually am excited. I started re-listening to the class again because I was like, this is gold. And we even talk about gold. Like, there's gold in the manual. I'm like, girl.
and also, I'm so grateful that you brought up about the bees, because we actually, after the whole beekeeping, I haven't been out in a while, we changed the name of our core team of creators and generators to the Queen Bees for Futures.
I love it.
So it really, if you're out there and you hate your job, like, I do want to let people know that we've been on this journey a while, and we have a tenacity and a courage to look at the viewpoints, and we're not willing. I guess that the two of us have stepped into leadership in that we're not willing to blame and point the finger at anyone for what's not working in our lives. That I'm like, years ago, I remember saying to Gary Douglas, I have no one to blame. I'm left with little old me here. And, I have to take full responsibility for what's showing up in my life, which sometimes can be like, eh. So one of the things that I would like to say is that if you are out there and you're in a job that's stressful, and there is something different available. You do not have to live a life of drudgery. I was tired all the time when I was working. I was cranky. I was not fun to be around my kids, and I have amazing children, but they had a cranky mom when I came in from the job that I hated. And I had so many decisions about life and living. And guess what? If I can transform them, if you can transform them, joy business, and Stephen Bowman said this about prosperity consciousness, it is not a special treat for those that can be bestowed upon. It is actually available for everyone, and all you've got to be willing to do is
choose
and allow it into your life. Allow it into your life.
I was just going to say, I know we're going to wrap up soon. The piece of it kind of creating a path, like not that there's a specific path, but a kind of opening a path. Maybe I'm in your head. No, is that what you're going to say?
I've been talking about the path to greatness for the next few days.
Oh, I'm so aware. Yeah, it isn't really a path, because when you said so I've chosen so many things. I've had jobs I love, some I don't, parts of them I like. And so recently, like 4 or 5 months ago, I chose to do this job. I got it would create something, but it's not like the most, it's at a very fancy grocery store, but there's a lot of points of view in there, right? But so I took this class, and so I've created so many things, I've created working in film, different things. And so this one, there's parts like how you said how you have this job you might not and so even now, there's parts of this job I don't like, but then what's really cool about this class is that it opened up this even more pathways of possibility of other things I could add, and that there is a way, and that I don't have to choose one or the other. I can have this and choose out of it or stay with it. But it was like the path, that, and not like this reality or
linear
whatever
path. No,
yeah, not a linear, yeah,
more like an opening path that you didn't even know was possible, and yet you did, because your life energetically wasn't working for you. So it is this opening of a door to something that you knew somewhere deep down inside you was available, but you didn't know how to generate it. And then you get the tools, and it's like, oh, I can go, I know.
And
you do know, and you go from doubt to knowing. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to build a very intuitive sense of self with creation and generation, and what works for you in business. And that's what we would like you to have, is to actually have a life, have a business, have a way of generating money. Your life is your business is your life, that actually works for you. It's going to be very different for Sylvia, for Rachel, for, I see Hannah's work, watching Liz, Catherine, and Michaela's on here. It is a very, very unique generative capacity, ability to create your life in the way that works for you. And that's all I'd ever like anyone to know, is that you can live with ease. Will it be challenging? Yes. Will it agitate your point of views? Yes. It will be, and it can be very confrontational, and it is so worth the adventure and the journey.
So true. So true. And it just I just am so floored at when you let go of points of view you have and definitions, the whole world, because I had shut down that possibility of this area I'm no longer going to do. And when I took away all those points of view, it's like everything opened up, and I'm like, and I've started creating my business and online and all these different things.
Yay!
And it's in the creation. But that was something I had said, okay, that's not for me. That's not who I am. And I realized, holy shit, what if I could do it my way? And that's what the whole course is like, being you in business. But I thought it was being appropriate. oh my God.
Yeah. I don't think that's ever going to work for us, being appropriated. It has to be. And one of the beautiful questions, I remember Simone Molasses gave me this question years ago, and it's one that it's like, what's actually going to work for you? What is it that's going to work for you? And what is it that's going to allow you to be more of you, and then ask to get paid for that? So you've got a call in 4 minutes, so have I.
Yes.
We'll be jumping on that. Come, we invite you. Joy Business. There are facilitators all over the world, in Mexico, Australia, where else? Vancouver, Mary Kate. They are everywhere. Go check us out. It is a revolution, and it's on, because people are no longer willing to give up their joy, give up their playfulness when it comes to the generation of their lives. I am so grateful for you.
I'm grateful for you too. This conversation lit me up. I just have to say. So thank you. Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely don't choose it. Don't choose it. Don't do it.
No. Okay, darling, off to your call,
Okay.
and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for being in my
Okay.
life, and thanks for being in the world, and thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.